everyone, it's so great to see you here today with us, and we hope you're ready to start praising God. But before we do that, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this live stream with your friends so they don't miss any upcoming services. So right now, let's stand up and start worshiping together. It's a great privilege to be standing here and sharing a word with you. And you know, lately I've been thinking about the blessings that I have in my life. Because honestly, I can look back many years before, like 5 years, 10 years, and I can see God's hand in everything that I have done. I can see His blessings that He gave into my life. And you know what? I've been thinking, what is it that I'm most attracted to? Is it the blessings, or is it God who blesses me? Right? And I really thought, and I want to share this with you, is to not hold on to the blessing, right? So even the job that I have is a blessing from God. It's a great opportunity that God gave into my life to make income. You know, studying at a university is a great blessing from God, that I can get a better education, get some knowledge, right? And it's very important that we understand that we should not be holding on to the blessing that God gave us, but hold on to God who gives us this blessing. And if we hold on to God, we will never lack blessings in our life. If we put our trust in God, if we stop holding on to what we already have and start holding on to God, who can give us so much more than we already have, we will never lack anything in life. And you know, if we have our faith in Him and not in the maybe materialistic things that He has given into our lives, we will never be lacking anything more. And sometimes, you know, the hardest time for us to bring a sacrifice is when we have nothing. When we have maybe a zero in our bank account, when we have no time to give, when we have nothing to give. So that's what we may think, when we have nothing to give. But the only thing that we can do is give. When we have nothing, if we want to be prosperous, is to give, is to put all of our trust in God. You know, give our last, right? So the hardest decision to make is to give our last, because that's when our hearts truly change. And you know, sometimes we just need to humble ourselves before God and just give that last so that God can see our hearts and give us more. Give the same way that He did in my life when I took some challenges onto my life and I decided to hold on to God rather than what He has already given to me. And I decided to let go of that. And in consequences, what happened is that I had so much more after. And you know, as it says in Proverbs 11, verse 12, it says, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Right? So if we just humble ourselves before God and we put all of our trust in Him, rather than the blessings, rather than what we already have in a materialistic life or anywhere else, in any other area of our lives that isn't God, then nothing good will come out of that. We will remain where we are. But if we let go of that and hold on to God, He will be able to give us so much more. But He will not be able to give us more if we are not having our trust in Him. So today, I just want to tell you, when you give your offerings today, just pray to God and say that I am doing this because I put my trust in You. I am not here just because I have to. I am here because I want to honor You, because I want to bring You praise. I want to honor You through that offering. And that's when your heart changes. And that's when God can do His work in your life. That's when He can bless you and give you more than you could ever imagine. So let's give now. Amen.
I will live for the moment when I'm still in Your presence, when no noise dies down. Lord, speak to me now. You have all my attention. I will linger and listen. I can't miss a thing. Lord, I know my heart wants more of You. My heart wants something new, so I surrender all. 'Cause all I want is to live within Your love, be undone by who You are. My desire is to know You deeper. Lord, I will open up again from my fears into the wind. I am desperate for a touch of heaven. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're the fire. You're the fire in the morning. You're the cool in the evening. desire is to know you deeper. Lord, I will open up again from my fears into the wind. I am desperate for a touch of heaven. Raise your voice right now. Raise your voice for God. Raise your voice. Raise it for Jesus. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I open up my heart to you.
Open up.
I open up my heart to you now.
Open up your heart to
To do
God.
what only you can.
Open up.
Jesus, have your way in me now.
I open up my heart to you. I open up my heart to you now. So do what only you can. Jesus, have your way in me now. I open up my heart to you. I open up my heart to you now. So do what only you can. Jesus, have your way in me now. Just open up your heart right now. Just speak to the Lord. Just allow me to speak into your life. And just worship Him right now. That's all I want. That's all I want is to live within your light. Be undone by who you are. My desire is to know you deeper, Lord. I will open up again from my fears into the wind. I am desperate for a touch of heaven. Na 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 na. Just worship Him. Hallelujah. Just worship Him. Just worship Him. Hallelujah. 'Cause all I want is to live within your love. Be undone by who you are. My desire is to know you deeper. Lord, I will open up again from my fears into the wind. I am desperate for a touch of heaven.
Hello guys, and we want to welcome you to today's youth service. We've got amazing guests now on the stage with me, and we're going to be talking about something I think all of us will experience or maybe are experiencing now, and something that I think is really important in church and outside of church. But before we start to talk about this topic, which I'll introduce in a minute, I want to introduce our two amazing guests. So the first guest is Victoria. Victoria, she is in a cell group. She's in my cell group in the church. She also leads her own one. And she's also a Sunday school teacher for the younger group, which is amazing because not only does she teach them and educates them about Jesus, but she also learns herself how to handle children, how to be responsible and look after them. And also, she's one of 3 members who look after our youth account on our Instagram. And also, she is a dancer and an amazing dancer. And now we have Oleg. And Oleg, he's very special because everything that you see here, all these microphones and everything, Oleg, he knows what he's doing and what to do in the church. So he is also in a cell. He's in our pastor's leading cell of the church. He is also a cell leader himself. He's a project manager in the church and also studying music production and is married to an amazing woman who I love called Nadia. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about responsibilities. And the reason why I chose responsibilities to be our topic is because it's something that all of us have or will have or are currently experiencing now, responsibilities in church, outside of church, in school, in dance, in classes, anywhere really. And so we're going to be talking about everything about responsibilities, not just what people do, but also the downfalls, things that people struggle with, the blessings of responsibilities. And so I've got a few questions here that I'm going to be asking, and if you guys can answer as honestly as you want. This isn't, like a simple one sentence and then just, be as open as you want, be as confident as you can be as honest with us, because honesty is something that we all appreciate. And even the hard times, be honest about when it's difficult as well, please, so that we can all, spend time together watching the service and also maybe learn from you guys, experiences that you guys have personally had in your, in your ministries, maybe at university, maybe at school. So the first question I'm going to ask Oleg, how do you make decisions when you've been given a responsibility?
Well, as Rebecca said, I don't get the opportunity to speak much just because I'm pretty much behind the cameras. Therefore, when I've been given a responsibility, basically, that's my priority. Whenever I've been trusted with something, I'll try to put it in a priority list. Obviously, there are times when, I'd rather put family rather than work because, that's what God teaches us, when I've been given a responsibility, I would try to take it as serious as much as I could. And I would try to take it to the very end so that we would hit our targets, because every responsibility that I've been given is to reach a goal, and, seeing the services and etc. is, to deliver the word of God. Therefore, it needs to be done. And I take it very seriously.
That's good. It's always good when we can take the things that we love and the things that we're good at, because to be honest, if I'm very honest, I see Oleg very often, and he's genuinely all the time, he's always learning. He's always on YouTube watching a video of how to be better at something, how to edit this, how to do this. So definitely I see the effort Oleg puts in. And so has there ever been a moment where you've made a decision, but you, after experiencing the result of that decision, you kind of think that you maybe should have tried it a different way or something? Or have you kind of been accurate every time?
Every single week.
Every single week you learn something new. And
yeah, every single week I learned that there are things that needs to be improved. But yeah, I don't look at them as something that should stop me from doing what I do or what I call to do, or,
Thank you, Oleg. And Victoria. So Victoria is very special because she's one that always seeks advice. And this is really good when having a responsibility. Victoria always seeks advice. Before doing something, she always asks, should I do it this way? Or is it maybe better to do it this way? She doesn't just make a decision and just forgets about asking for advice and seeking advice. She's always really good at making sure that she's got confirmation from someone. And I've experienced that as, her cell leader and everything. She's very responsible. And Victoria, when having a responsibility like even outside of church, for example, in dance, is it always easy to make a decision? Like you always know like what to answer, or sometimes do you have to pray, or sometimes you have to be patient in order to know what decision to make?
No, definitely not. I think some decisions may be easier than others, but I think there have been some decisions that I've had to make that have been really hard, I think. Yeah.
For example, there's this small testimony, if you could share, about when you had the choice of going to a conference or going to a Thought Park, I think, with your friends, and you made a decision, but obviously God blessed your decision with a result of something amazing. If you want to share shortly.
So this happened about 2 years ago, and I had a choice to go to either Thought Park, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's just this area of different like fun rides where you can just hang out with your friends, or to go to this conference in Germany. And I got told that they're both the same day, and obviously I wanted to go to both, so I was like, I can't really split myself in half and be at both.
Be two places at once, yeah.
So I made the decision. It was a hard decision, but I made the decision to go to Germany. And because I'd prioritized going to a conference, which to learn about God, to start a relationship with God, it happened so that the Thought Park was the day that I came back after Germany. So I was able to go to both to Germany and to the Thought Park.
Amazing. And she's a responsible decision, you know, responsible decision to follow God. And God doesn't want us to completely be slaves and just not enjoy life, or you know, just, he says, look, I saw that she made a responsible decision, and I'm going to allow her to go to both because God has the power to do all these kind of things. And this question I'm going to ask now is an interesting one, because I 100% know that everyone, in every responsibility that they have, any work that they have setbacks, and they have things that don't work out. And maybe there have been times where something hasn't worked out for you, maybe at work, maybe at school, maybe in church, maybe elsewhere. And you made a mistake, and you started to question yourself. You started to question, is this actually what I need to do? Is this where God sees me? Do I need to continue doing this? Because as I see, I'm, you know, there's things are going wrong, and I didn't plan for them to go this way. And Oleg, has there ever been a time in your calling to be a production manager, your calling to be a musician, and very important role in the church? Have you ever questioned God if it was your calling, even though you're very talented in the I was going to say a word in Russian then, in the area where you work, in church and outside of church? Have there ever been a time where you questioned if this is your purpose?
Well, I definitely didn't question God. I questioned myself and my abilities. But when I understand that, I mean, there were times when, I'll tell you honestly, as you said at the beginning, there were times when I was doubting myself just because I was exhausted by something else. And it wasn't actually, I wasn't exhausted by what I've been doing for the God, you know, for the church and, you know, for his kingdom. I was exhausted by something else outside, externally, that I've been battling with. And our pastor, you know, says sometimes when people are experiencing difficulties outside the church, the first thing they start to think about, oh, I'm doing too much work in the church. When in fact, we only spend, like 2-3 hours a week, you know, whoever serves. And we don't like, we're not in a full-time, each one of us, we're not in a full-time positions yet. So therefore, but for some reason, us as human beings, we was the first thing, oh, I'm just doing too much for the church, you know, and that's a lie. That's the devil trying to tell you, oh, you're too occupied by the church. That's why you can't resolve your issues externally. That's, you know, outside the church. And I mean, that was a lie. So I was battling with myself that I allowed this thought to form me for some time, for like a month or two, and I was battling with it. But then at the end, I realized that God is my provider in any case, whether, you know, whatever happened externally outside the church, God can take care of it. And therefore, I understand that church in the first place, the place where I served, is actually formed me to be able to have these external things. So therefore, you know, I look into the church as my primary place where I should be, and I should be able to serve. And, you know, there were setbacks, but I was never questioning God in terms of whether it's my calling. I was actually questioning me. And now, in the time's gone and past all these thoughts, I understand that this is the best place I can be, I can do, and, you know, I can invest my time in, because it brings a fruit and the salvation and to the good news to the people, you know. And when I realize that the work I'm doing for God is way bigger than I can even imagine, then I'm just like, okay, God, this is definitely worth doing. And, you know, I'm dedicating my heart, my body, my mind to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree that when we start to be overwhelmed with time, overwhelmed with how little time we have to do many things, because time, to be honest, is a very precious thing, and time is very valuable to us as people, especially when you live such a fast-paced life. And I definitely agree that when you start to run out of time to do things, you know, your energy starts to go, that people often stop going to church as the first place that they kind of, they separate themselves from the church first, because they think if they do that, then they're going to gain a little bit more hours during the week. But like Oleg said, it's actually the connection with God through coming to church, listening to the word, that God actually provides you with enough time, enough energy, enough passion, enough love, enough effort to actually be able to do anything you want, really, and have the time to do so. So definitely, thank you so much, Oleg, for sharing that. And definitely, it's visible in, you know, Oleg, and he's genuinely passionate about what he does, and it's amazing when we are enthusiastic about our ministries and working for God, and you see people, you know, working hours to do so. So it's amazing to have setbacks and maybe even doubt in ourselves, but then remind ourselves that we're doing it for God, and we can always fill up with more energy when we know that. And Victoria, I know that you have an experience, maybe it happened a few times, and where you felt a bit set back, and you felt maybe that your efforts weren't being acknowledged, or maybe your efforts, you kind of maybe doubted if you needed to put in as much effort as you have been putting in, because you didn't get the result that you wanted to see. And if you could also answer the question, have you ever been set back, and what was this experience? You know, if you could share with us.
So I think one of the biggest setbacks I've had actually happened not long ago. I think it happened just over a month ago. Is, as Becca said, I lead kids' Sunday school lessons, and I put a lot of effort into this. I plan them, I try to make them as fun as possible, so that, because I don't want them to come there and just be like, oh, just not look forward to them all week, and then when it comes to 10 o'clock every Sunday, they're like, oh, I have to join this lesson now. I want to try and make it as fun as possible. I think the biggest setback I've had yet is when I put so much effort into it one week and only one person joined. And normally there's about 7 people that joined. So you can imagine there were 6 people less and there was only one person. And that made me question myself, what's the point of doing it if there's only one person? But then I realized I can still make a big, I can still impact that one person, even if it's not as how I expected it to be.
Definitely, I think that's really powerful, because it says even in the Bible that he left the 99 to find the one. And we know that this person who joined the lesson, he's always on time. He's always perfectly. He's got his books, his pens, and everything. So it's amazing when you see children interested in learning about God. And I think we had a football game not long ago, a charity football game. And my friend Sarah, she said, this is so nice that we can also bring children to this football game, and the children can see their parents playing football. They can meet new people. And I understood that it's so important to have children involved in the church, because if you and have a ministry for the children, have a place for the children to be able to make friends, learn about God in a fun way. Because if you separate fun from church for children, church for the children will become a burden rather than a place where they want to go. And I definitely see that Vic makes the experience for the children amazing, because she's always meshing, I've got new ideas, I want to do this after summer when we come back, I want to try this with the children. And so I definitely encourage, if you have children, encourage them to go to church, encourage them to even join our Sunday school lessons. And message us, because we can get your children to our Sunday school lessons, because it's a fun place where they can learn, and most importantly, enjoy learning about God. And so thank you, Vic, so much for sharing that. And I think the last question, as we haven't got much time left, I'm going to ask both of you. Oleg, what do responsibilities show a person about themselves? When you have a responsibility, and often you might think oh gosh, am I able to fulfill this responsibility? I've been asked to do this. Do I have enough materials in order to do this? Do I have enough knowledge to do this? And responsibilities, there's things that are put onto us, and people trust us to do certain things. And when we're trusted, it shows that people understand that we will care about what we've been given it's something we've been given to take care of. People understand we're going to care about it, so they give us responsibilities. People understand that they can rely on us because they see in other areas, they have seen us put in time and effort and love into certain things. So when we are given responsibilities, what does it show us about ourselves? Like if you're looking in a mirror, what does responsibility show you personally about yourself when someone gives you something to do? What do you think about, like, when you're given something to take care of?
Whenever I've given a responsibility, I know one thing: this is the time to learn. So when I look in the mirror, I understand I've been given this, but I'm not gonna approach it as a pro. I'm just gonna be very humble, because I know that this is the time where I can grow. And the responsibilities are given to us not because to show off, not to show off how amazing we are or how wonderful, how professional we are, but they allow us to grow. And, it's very sad when someone is missing an opportunity to take the responsibility, because that means they're not developing. And what my pastor allowed me to do is to develop myself. And I've been growing and learning so much in the last 2 years. It's incredible. God has done so many miraculous things through the responsibility. And you can imagine, whenever you have someone to trust you with something, no matter whatever it is, and you try and take it, it doesn't mean you're gonna maybe succeed straight away, but that is gonna allow you to grow. And I mean, this is what I think about the responsibility in general. This is something that allows me to develop and to become better at what I do.
Definitely. And Oleg not long ago preached about being a disciple. And being a disciple means that you have a leader. And I like how Oleg said that it's an opportunity to learn and not approach something as, I'm a pro, I know everything, I've been studying for like 2 years now. I'm probably I probably have more knowledge than the teacher teaching me. And Oleg preached about this, saying that we shouldn't challenge, for example, our teachers who know more about us when they're teaching us something. So I like how Oleg said that when we approach something, don't approach it in like I can do everything, but approach it in such a humble, like, I want to learn here. I want to be able to learn from people from YouTube, watch their videos. I want to learn from people around me, and I think that's really responsible. When we approach things in a way that we can learn from them, and also with gratitude for being trusted in the first place of these things. So thank you so much, Oleg, for sharing. And Vic, shortly, if you could also share how do you look at yourself when you're asked to be responsible for something?
I think there are many reasons, but one thing that came to my head, it shows how dedicated I am to the church because if, for example, you gave me a responsibility to do something, and I just think, I say I put it on a to-do list, and just to tick it off the to-do list, I do it, just not to the best of my ability. But if I do it to the best of my ability, it shows that I am dedicated to this church. I'm dedicated to do it, and I'm also obedient to you, because I know that no matter how big the responsibility is, or even if it's just a small one, we should still be dedicated and do it to the best of our abilities.
Definitely, and to be honest, definitely, Vic, I absolutely agree. And Vic is like the Timothy of my cell group. She's always the one who reminds me about what time we have. She reminds me about this. She's like, someone who always knows what's happening, always reminds you. And I truly am very grateful for Vic, because without Vic, I probably would have missed many calls. I would have probably come on half an hour later. So, yeah, responsibilities are crucial. And the more we respect the responsibilities we're given, the more people will give us responsibilities, and the more God can also rely on us, because God's looking for people He can rely on. And so when we open up our hearts, when we're able to show that we care about the small and big responsibilities we're given, it's such a privilege, because we're just educating ourselves more and more, and God trusts us more and more, and He loves when He can trust us and give us things to take care of, because He gives us people to take care of, and people are very important to Him, the most important. So, guys, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you, Oleg. Thank you, Victoria. And as always, guys, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share it with your friends. You can share the link maybe to some of your friends on WhatsApp. Maybe share it to your family if you want, your brothers and sisters. We'll be happy to have this conversation and include you guys in it. So please leave a comment, and as usual, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much, guys.
Hey again, it was a great time. We really hope you enjoyed this, and we are looking forward to seeing you on the next Sunday youth service at 12 p.m. Don't miss this, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this live stream so more of your friends can see this, because I believe that this word can truly change people's lives for the better, bring them closer to God. So we hope you have a great rest of your week and you have a great week ahead. Bless you.